Good afternoon, y'all. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. VaShaun here with a random thought. It's not so random because, I've already been instructed on what to say. Y'all, in my devotional time every morning, God gives me an instruction for the day. Like, what am I talking about? What am I doing? What are my goals? What do I have to do? What am I required to do for the day? So today he told me that there's an entrepreneur somewhere, there's a business owner, there's somebody in ministry, there's somebody struggling with the thing that they were supposed to do. So offer some encouragement today. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm gonna wait for a few of you all to jump on, and we're gonna get right to it. Hey, what's good, Waddy? How you doing? Great to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm having a very productive day. Just left a meeting. You have my Sunday go meeting hat on because it's hot and I don't like sun in my face, but just left a great meeting. Excited about what God is doing in my company and what God is doing. So a bug just kind of flew in and landed. Like, we ain't got time for that. Loose here. But anyways, hey, what's going on, Brother E? Good to see you. Good to see you as well. Hope y'all having an amazing day. So what is V talking about today? Today I'm going to talk about my entrepreneurial journey. It has been a journey indeed. I'm coming up on 1 full year of being a full-time entrepreneur. The anniversary for my company, VaShaun Nicole Enterprises, is August 1st. So August 1st, I would have been in business for myself for 3 years, part-time, and then August 17th, 2017, I've been in business for myself full-time as an entrepreneur. So it's been an awesome journey. I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit of my backstory, as I always do, give you a little context, and then we're going to get right to the thought of the day. So I always knew, when working in different places, I've been in corporate positions, and I've had great positions. I've had entry level. I've worked from ACS all the way up to Lexmark, and I've done a myriad of different things. I've done nonprofit, for-profit. I did entry level business to corporate level business. So I have a wide array of experience as it relates to business and such, and it never failed. Any position I've ever had, I always felt like I was supposed to be doing something else. In every position that I had, I was always like, I want to do something else. There's something that I'm supposed to be doing. I wasn't quite sure. And it was revealed to me last year. God was like, I have given you all this experience. Like, I have 20 years. Yeah, I've been in the professional workforce, for 20 years. I got my first full-time real job when I graduated high school when I was 17, and I worked at Bank One. So, I'll be 37 this year, so I have 20 years of experience of, like I said, from entry level all the way up to corporate. And I knew I had a greater purpose. I knew all the ideas and stuff that I used to write in journals wasn't for naught. I knew there was a reason for all of it. So, I stayed the course. I didn't just jump out one day and decide I don't want to work anymore. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm working myself full time. It wasn't like that at all. I had years and years. So let me help an entrepreneur today. Years and years of preparation. So it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. It wasn't my boss made me mad and I quit. It wasn't I'm not being fully utilized in the thing that God called me to do. Literally, I worked until God said, okay, now you're going to go in business for yourself. So I'll start back maybe about 4 years ago. I kind of resolved that it's okay. It's okay. Hey, how are you doing, Pastor Lucian? I think that's you. How are you doing today? About 4 years ago, I decided to go ahead and go forward and do the things that God told me to do. So the first thing that he told me to do was write a book. He was like, VaShaun, I want you to write your story. Now, my first book is entitled Behind Her Eyes. What it is an inspirational autobiography about my life. So I talk about what my life looked like from my perspective. My mother's been in ministry full-time for 30 years. My father was a military trained sniper. So I got a very interesting story. I talk about, my ups and downs from teenagehood all the way up to being who God called me to be. So wrote that book in 2014. So when I was ready to go ahead and publish and go forward, I contacted a regional publisher and I let her know. I was like, hey, I got this book, I'm ready to go ahead and get it out. And she says, VaShaun, this is going to sound weird, but God gave me some information about you. Can I go ahead and tell you? And I was just like, I think so. You know, whenever somebody says that to me, I get really nervous because, you know, everybody always has a word for the people. But she was absolutely right. She said, God told me to help you to open up your own publishing house. You're supposed to open up your own publishing house because you desire to have an enterprise and to have a multitude of businesses. And I said, yeah, I do. I wanted to be a business owner. I've never just wanted to work for myself. Oh, I'm sorry, Lucian. I'm sorry. So I've always wanted to be a business owner. I never really wanted to work for myself. So she was like, I'm going to help you set up your company. So this was in 2014. So August 2014, she was like, I'm going to give you all the tools that you need to be successful. So did my research. I did everything that she told me to do. I got licensed through the state of Kentucky. I did everything, you know. Before I told anybody about what I was doing, I did all the background work, got my EIN number. I made sure I was legit with the state, you know, got all my paperwork together and such. And in January 2015, I came out. I was like, hey guys, this is my company. Hey guys, this is my book. I published my book through my publishing house, and here we are. So VaShaun Nicole Enterprises was, all right, Lucian, VaShaun Nicole Enterprises was born, and it was a great feeling. I said, okay, now I got my book, I got my company, what's next? So I went to my journals again. Y'all, I talk about journaling a lot because that's how I keep myself on track to do the things that I'm supposed to do. So one of the first things that God told me a long time ago was, you're going to have your books in the major bookstores. Now, I've seen a lot of people write books. I know a lot of authors. My mom has written like 5 books. So to say, okay, VaShaun, you're going to be the one that's going to be in major bookstores, that was kind of heavy for me. But, you know, if he said it, that settles it. So I got myself in position. I got in prayer one day and I was like, okay, God, if I'm going to do this, what am I going to do? I need you to give me explicit instruction, like A, B, C, or D. Now, sidebar, a lot of y'all feel like y'all can't go to God like that. You feel like you have to figure out things on your own. If you go to him and ask him for the direction, instruction, he'll give it to you, like explicitly. So God gave me 8 instructions. He says, VaShaun, you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have to do these things to get your book welcomed into major bookstores. So what did I do? I got to work from January to about April. I did everything that was in that list. I did everything, and it was a lot. It was very extensive, and it was very taxing, a lot of red tape, a lot of, you know, hoops and hurdles to jump through and such, but I did everything. So after that, I approached Barnes & Noble, because again, I asked God, okay, what bookstore am I supposed to approach? He was like, you're supposed to go to Barnes & Noble. So what did I do? I approached Barnes & Noble. I told my team, okay, y'all, now sidebar, in the midst of me getting all my paperwork and stuff together back in 2014, I hired 21 people. So I hired a whole staff of people to assist me to make sure that I'm successful. So the first part of entrepreneurship, especially if you're a business owner, make sure you've got people around you that can help you be successful, because you are going to burn out quickly if you try to do it yourself. So got all these people in position. So I told the team, I was like, listen, we're going to get in Barnes & Noble, and I'm going to need y'all's help to do it. So got the team together, got the squad together, got the presentation together. I did all the things that were required of me. And Barnes & Noble in Louisville gave me my first yes. So in June of 2016, I had my first Barnes & Noble book signing for my first book, Behind the Eyes. Now notice what I said. From April 2015 to June 2016. So it was a whole entire process in order to get my book in bookstores. I don't know how many people call me and say, hey V, can you go ahead and help me? Can you do this, do that, do the third? Yes, I can help you, but you have to be a client with V&E, 1. And then 2, you have to understand it's not an overnight process. So you can't just self-publish a book and then say, hey, put it in the bookstore. It doesn't work like that. So long story short, got the book in bookstores. So from June 2016 till what is this, July to June 2018, I have had 8 Barnes & Noble book signings. So from June 2016 to June 2018, I've had 8 Barnes & Noble book signings from Lexington and Louisville, which is unheard of for a first-time author. But again, this is what God told me, and this is my part of my journey. So, you know, start building my repertoire up, start building up my business, and kind of collecting receipts, if you will. So from publishing, we moved to consulting, and a part of what V&E is about to release is the consulting part of what we do. So we help businesses market themselves. We help entrepreneurs and business owners market themselves to the right audience so they can get what they desire to have. So this year, I would say January of 2018, we have like 8 clients that have come to me and asked, and I'm not talking about clients like my neighbor next door. I'm talking about companies that have sought me out and asked me to help them with their marketing and with their visibility to the public. So it's been an amazing journey. So I said all of that to say this. Listen, every single day I think about quitting V&E. And that's real life. Every single day I think about, I have a very impressive resume. I know that. I have experience far beyond most people my age. I know how to do a whole lot. I can type 100 words a minute. Like, I know how to do a whole lot. I can run a whole business. So every day I see opportunities for me to apply for jobs and to go ahead and get back into the corporate sector and do what I've been called to, and do what I do naturally. But the problem is, God told me, VaShaun, you're going to be an entrepreneur, and actually you're going to be the one that's going to give people jobs. You're going to be the one that's creating opportunities. You're going to be the one that's going to be a trailblazer, and you're going to have to be strong enough and listen to what I say so you can do and go and be who I've called you to be. That's what God says to me. Like, he deals with me rough because, you know, I'm hard-headed. Like, every day I think about jumping on Career Builder, put my resume out there, getting a good, 70... thank you, Lucretia. Getting a good $70,000, $80,000 a year job because I know I can, and then go ahead and be great. But that's not what God called me to do. God called me to be a trailblazer. God called me to be an entrepreneur. So I have to focus on that thing. And I'm telling you all, it is not an easy task. It is a daunting task. It is a hard task. And I'm going to tell you why. First, you're going to have to battle with what you've always been taught. So you have to unlearn unnatural fears. You have to unlearn the things that people say to you. You have to ignore the stuff that people say to you. People tell me all the time, VaShaun, why you think you could do that? Why, you know how people are. So you have to ignore that kind of stuff. Then you have to focus on the reality. I don't know how much money I will make every single month if I don't put my foot to the plow and do work. So it's not like I have a 40-hour week and then I can expect a paycheck on Friday. No. If I'm not out in these streets every single day doing something, making something shake, VaShaun doesn't get paid. And if VaShaun doesn't get paid, VaShaun Nicole Enterprises doesn't get paid. And none of my staff get paid, and nobody gets to do anything. So it is a constant battle. So I want to tell entrepreneurs, before you jump out there, make sure that you have the mental fortitude to do this thing. Make sure that you are strong mentally to do this thing, because I feel like I'm very strong. I'm very sure of the things that God tells me. But in my journey, I struggle. So I couldn't imagine when somebody that doesn't have a lot of support and somebody doesn't have a lot of resources, I couldn't imagine how they feel. So as an entrepreneur, make sure you have everything intact first. Make sure you have all your I's dotted, your T's crossed. Make sure you've heard from God. Don't just get mad and then decide you want to be an entrepreneur. No, it doesn't work like that. Don't just get mad and say, you know what, I think I can do what they do better, so I'm going to do that. No, and let me go ahead and help a few of you all. If you see somebody doing something and you feel like you can mimic it, let me tell you about what the enemy does. If you look like you can face an attack, so if you put yourself in a position where you look like you can fight and move in a certain direction, you're going to be attacked at the level that you're mimicking. So if you are not ready to get attacked on Bishop Jake's level, go ahead and leave that Bishop Jake stuff alone. Go ahead and be mindful of your level and make sure you're doing what you have to do for you first before you try to go to the next one. That's a little free game. So I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I want to go ahead and get to my point. I really want to encourage entrepreneurs. Guys, it is not an easy task. I don't wake up every day and feel like I want to do this. I don't wake up every day and feeling